Hello, welcome to lesson 1, how to crochet. Okay, so to begin with, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make fabric. Just like in knitting, you're trying to make pieces of fabric. And then with that fabric, you can then slowly turn them into shapes and turn into something else. Okay, now in crochet there are various ways of making fabric. There are two major ways of making fabric. There's one where you start at the bottom and then you work backwards and forwards, up and down, to form blocks of fabric like this, say for a scarf or a blanket or something. Or you start in the middle. Now this is your this is a complicated granny square, but this is a typical crocheted granny square. When you do these, you start actually in the middle and you work round and round to form maybe a flower first and then a square. The circle can turn into a square. Similarly, a sock, you want to form basically a tube or a shaped tube. And to make a tube, again, you would start from a tiny section in the middle and work round and round and round until you sort of form this tube into a sock. I think the easiest way to start is actually to start in this sort of linear form from the bottom. And the very first thing that you do at the bottom of your crochet is a chain. Can you see that chain at the bottom of this piece of crochet? It looks a bit like a braid or a plait that you'd put in somebody's hair. Now, what you need to do is start to form your piece of wool into a chain. Now, I don't know if you used to play around with wool when you were a kid. I did. Where you would form a slip knot, which you just wind the wool around your finger, push it up through the middle and pull. Then if you wanted to then make a chain from that slip knot, just with your hands, I mean, you can try this if you like. You can just push the wool and then pull on the chain, push the wool up like this, and then pull this bit to pull it tight. And this sort of forms a very sort of scruffy chain just by pulling your wool through and doing this. And can you see how you're sort of getting this sort of chain effect? Now what you want to be able to do is do this, but using a hook, your crochet hook. Right, so again, we start with a slip knot by pushing that through there like that. Leave quite a long tail because that needs to be sewn in at the end. Insert your hook. Now, it's all about holding your wool, and it's worth, even though making a chain is quite a simple thing to do, it's worth spending some time on it because this is actually helping you to learn how to keep the tension on your wool, not too tight, but firm, so that it doesn't sort of go all baggy and you're kind of like, all over the place. You want to be able to feel secure with your wool, and this takes a bit of time. Right. Let's do it. There's various ways of holding your wool, but let's start it the way I do it, which is basically grabbing hold of your wool, putting it, and it's the simplest sort of naivest sort of way of doing it. So, and then I use my thumb and my finger to sort of pinch the work, and this side I'm holding my crochet hook like this, but I'm also kind of holding on to this bit as well at certain times. Okay, so to get your first chain through, I'm holding on to this to keep it still. I'm then using my finger and my thumb to wrap the wool round the back, always round the back, not round the front, round the back of the hook. Then I'm going to put my finger under the wool so that I can grab the little knot here. Then I'm letting go of the tail so that now I've got the the wool firmly tight in these fingers. I'm pinching the knot, but now I can slide the hook through the chain. So that's your first chain that you've made. Now you want to make another one. So I'll pass that back to my hand. I'll grab the wool again, wrap it round the back. Again, I'll go under the wool, pinch that bit of chain, let go, and pull through. Then I'll hand it back to my other hand. I'll wrap the wool around again, put my fingers under it. All the time I'm keeping it tight with these fingers. Put the wool under it, grab the chain. I've let go here and pull through. So then I'll hand the work back to this hand to hold with the chain. Grab the wool around again, put it round the back. Put my fingers under the wool, grab the chain back from the other hand again and pull through. Now it's pretty easy to do this, but it's important to watch how you're doing it and to have some kind of method in it, so you can this will help you later on when you're actually crocheting and you want everything to be much easier. Right, let's do that again so you can see again how I'm holding everything. Grabbing my wool in this hand with these 3 fingers. That's nice and tight in there and I'm just hanging on to it. I'm holding the chain with the crochet hook there, just very lightly. And I'm sort of I'm letting go and passing it back and forth like this, between holding on to the knot here so I can slide the chain and going back again. Right, to wrap the wool around, I'll hold on to the chain with my right hand, grab the wool, making sure it's tight here, round the back. Now I'm going to hand it to my left hand by dropping the chain, but before I do that I'm going to grab the bottom of this loop that's on the hook so that I can easily then pull this through. So again, wrapping round the back, holding on to the knot, letting go with the right hand and pulling through. Now it's very easy when you start to crochet to make everything really quite tight. You don't want it too tight. It's getting this balance between a nice loose chain but not one that's all baggy and messy. So you're trying to practice getting a nice, it's like a neat plait. And this is what you need to keep doing, wrapping round, grabbing the knot and pulling through. Now then, if you can get quite quick at this, or find this quite easy, the next bit will be much easier for you. So just get into this rhythm of making a chain. You might start to do an easier, hold the wool in a sort of easier way, so that you, well, I don't know actually, this is how you might start to do this because it's quicker. But don't go ahead of yourself. Just keep getting that neat chain and hanging on to the rest of it so you can use, you want to sort of use the hook in a way that turns itself to grab. Obviously it's not going to pull through, you're going to lose it, so to grab it, to face you, to pull through. See how that chain's gone a bit baggy, so I can just pull that a bit. Right, okay, that is if you can get this action going, swapping over your hands like this, then basically you've mastered the start of crochet. Right, I'll see you in lesson 2.